and welcome to Never a Truer Word, where we look at the words that people choose to use to see if they're telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And this episode, we're going to look at the disappearance of Samantha Murphy, and in particular, a press conference given by members of her family shortly after she disappeared. Samantha disappeared out of Ballarat in Australia on the 4th of February 2024. The press conference we're going to look at was given on the 8th of February, so 4 days after she went missing. And at the time of recording, there is no information, no clues or anything about what happened to Samantha. She left her house going for a run, apparently, has not been seen again, apart from on a couple of CCTV and Ring video cameras. And the police really have nothing that they're saying about what they think happened to her. So I'm going to look at the words of her husband and her daughter. And the reason I was doing that is that I have seen some headlines such as husband brushes off malicious online rumours and Samantha Murphy husband a person of interest. Now, I think that person of interest, to be fair to him, is the fact the police have nothing to go on. So everyone involved with Samantha is a person of interest in the investigation. But these malicious online rumours, are they valid? Well, I wanted to have a look at what her husband Mick had to say, which is why I found this press conference. Now, if you're new here, and lots of people join every single week, welcome. As I said in the intro, we look at the words that people choose to use, and we only look at the words here on this channel. And the reason we look at the words that people choose to use is that our word choice is never accidental. One of two things happens. We're either deliberately choosing the words that we say, like I'm doing now, because I really want to get my message to you, or sometimes we do the easy route and we let our brain take over, and our subconscious picks the words. And in that case, our brain is just picking the words that it best thinks fits the situation that it's talking about. So the words we use are never accidental. And by looking at those words, we can learn a lot about what is going on in the brain of the person talking or writing. As always, I want you to come away from this as well, being able to understand a little bit more about the words that people choose, especially in this case with disappearances or missing people, and when people give press conferences or speak about them. Look out for use of the present tense, especially the missing person being spoken about in the present tense. Sometimes when a guilty person is doing a sort of fake plea for a missing person to come back, you'll see them refer to that person in the past tense because they know they are no more. Watch where the focus is. We'll deal with some of that as we look at the words of Mick and Jess. What are they focused on? That's always really revealing. And also watch out for resumes or storytelling. A truthful person who's appealing for information will just do that. They will appeal for information. They'll tell you what they know and they will appeal for that information. Someone who's maybe guilty might give a resume statement, which is when they say what a good person they are, or what a loving husband they were, what a great mother they were, what a great father they were, something like that. So that they're building their character. It's almost like a chance to get a character witness in. Please don't think I'm guilty. Look how good a person I am. And storytelling as well. That was when someone maybe tries to build an alibi about why they couldn't have done this, or a sort of false story about what the person who is missing was up to. So watch out for those as we go and look through the words. This story came as a suggestion from the audience. If there's anything you'd like me to have a look at in terms of words or statements, then do drop it into the comments here if you can, if you have that facility, or get in touch on social media. You'll find all the links in the show description to get in touch on social media. Also in comments, if you've got any observations, anything you think I've missed, any questions about anything I've said, always really happy to deal with them as well. And as I always say, to get this to the most people possible, to get many more people looking at the way that words matter and the words that people choose to use can be so revealing. The like button is such a simple thing to do. If you just press that, it takes no time at all, but it really helps get this out. Feel free to share this as well with anyone you think would be interested in the overall concepts of looking at the words surrounding missing people, or anyone that is interested in this case of Samantha Murphy. And the subscribe button or the follow button means you will get this content every time something new is released. Let's have a look then at the press conference, and we're going to start with Samantha Murphy's husband, Mick.
Afternoon, everybody. We just decided to do a press conference to help us with the search for Sam. We are overwhelmed by the help of the public and the community for what the way they've all formed together. and come together as a unit to help us look for Sam and her disappearance. People just don't vanish into thin air. Someone's got to know something, you know, whether it be any little thing that you might think's relevant. Just call the police, let them know, you know. It'll give us a bit of peace of mind if we get some hope from someone. And we just like to, if you can respect our privacy as well at home, whatnot, you know. If we've got something, we'll come out and say it, and you'll be advised by the police or by us if we need be. But thanks for your time, and I say once again, hopefully someone's got something that they can remember or they've seen, and they can contact the authorities and put some light on the subject. And also, thanks very much for the people. The generosity throughout the community has been unbelievable. If we went to accept all the food that would want to be cooked for us, and like that, we wouldn't have to go to the supermarket for 12 months. You know, it's just really, really good. So thank you very much, everybody. And we really, really do appreciate everything that everyone's doing. Thank you.
So what did you think of Mick's words there? Let's look at what he said. He starts with, "Afternoon, everybody. I just decided to do a press conference to help us with the search for Sam." Now, I always say the first thing someone says indicates the priorities in their heads. And the first thing Mick says after greeting everyone is, "I just decided to do a press conference." So I don't think this has been a small decision for him, because his wife's missing. This is a chance to appeal for help, to thank people who have already helped. But the first thing he tells us is that he has decided to do this press conference. So I think this has been a big decision for him to do this press conference. I'll go through this and we'll look at the words and we'll make notes and observations. I won't come to any conclusions, and I won't say why I think this was a big decision for him. I'll just note that I think this was a big decision for him to do the press conference. And after he said it's a decision, he talks about helping us. So this is the priority here for him, is helping us. He says a press conference to help us with the search for Sam. So he's talking about us here. This is not just about him. This is us. I'm presuming us is the family. Him and Jess are standing there at the podium. So I'm presuming that is the us that he's talking to. So he's talking about a joined up family unit, and he's after help here, I think. But we do see the only thing that he's looking for is help with the search for Sam. So it's a press conference to help us with the search for Sam. Now, at this point, and still now as I'm recording this, we don't know what happened to Sam. So has she left of her own volition and may come back at some point? Has she been abducted and really will never be found? Has she had an accident? Has she fallen and hit her head and just does not know where she is? These are all sort of questions that are around that could have happened for Sam, but all he is focused on is this search for Sam, and certainly no thinking that if he says something here, then she will come back of her own volition. Mick calls his wife Sam, which is a very informal way of referring to someone called Samantha, and I think perfectly natural way for a husband of someone called Samantha to refer to Samantha as Sam. It feels very close to me here. He hasn't used anything that would imply ownership of Sam, like search for my wife. Or something formal, where, you know, search for Samantha is more formal than search for Sam. So I think there is a closeness here indicated by his use of Sam to indicate Samantha. Mick continues and says, we are overwhelmed by the help of the public and the community. What they, you know, the way they've all pulled together and come together as a unit to help us look for Sam and her disappearance. So after saying that he's here for help with the search, he does a big thank you. Once again, he's talking on behalf of the family. He says, we are overwhelmed, not I am overwhelmed. He says, we are overwhelmed by the help, and they've come together to help us. So that's all of us look for Sam. So he's still and consistently talking on behalf of the family here. And what's he overwhelmed by? Well, he's overwhelmed by the help of the public and the community, and they've come together as a unit to help us look for Sam. So he's really appreciative of the help that has come from the unit, from the community. And I think, he really feels like they've acted as one. He uses the word together twice and mentions them being a unit when he says the way they've all pulled together and come together as a unit to help us look for Sam. So I really, he's repeated this concept of together and unit, and the things that we repeat tend to be things that are really important to us in our mind. And I think he's really grateful as to how this community has come together. Once more, they've come together as a unit to help us look for Sam. So he's using that informal name for her that I think implies a little bit of closeness. And we have the repetition again. So they've come together to help us look for Sam. So I think, again, what's important in his mind is this search. It's looking for Sam. It doesn't seem to enter into his words that Sam could come back of her own volition at all, that Sam has to be searched for and Sam has to be looked for. He does say to help us look for Sam and her disappearance. Bit of clumsy wording, but I think you can tell he's very nervous when he's up there talking. But he gives ownership of Sam, her disappearance. He gives ownership of the disappearance to Sam, doesn't he there? Her disappearance. He didn't just finish there with help us look for Sam. It was her disappearance. So I think he's given her ownership there of the fact that she has gone missing. Mick continues. People just don't vanish into thin air, is what he said. Someone's got to know something. Whether it be any little thing that might think's relevant, just call the police. Let them know, Now, he's been talking about the search for Sam before, and now he talks in a very general term about people in general. People just don't vanish into thin air. So he's stopped talking about Sam and he's talking about the concept of what's happened. People just don't vanish into thin air. This, I think, is his plea for help. And you can see that it's quite wide. Someone's got to know something. So he is open to the fact that someone, that could be anyone in the world, has got to know something. That's almost anything. I think he's very open to the fact that this mystery could be solved by absolutely anyone. That he's not pointing this to a person or a type of person or a group of people in particular. He's just talking to someone and they've got to know something. So I don't think there's any suggestion in those words that he has a particular theory or anything like that about where the information is going to come from. But he does talk about it being any little thing. So I don't think he thinks any big news is possible here at all. I think he thinks it's going to be little things that help with this search. Mick continues, it'll give us a bit of peace of mind if we get some hope from someone. He's once again talking on behalf of the family. It'll give us a peace of mind if we get some hope from someone. So he's talking on behalf of the family. He's consistently done that all the way through. But once more, I think there's an indication here. He's got nothing. He knows nothing. It'll give us more peace of mind or give us more hope. It will give us a bit of peace of mind if we get some hope. So I think that there's no peace of mind at all with that family just now or when this press conference was. And there was no hope at all ever. He's asking for some hope, not just hope, not just more hope. He's asking for some hope and he's asking for that peace of mind. I don't think there is, from the words there, no peace of mind in the family and no hope whatsoever. And he's not even looking for a lot of peace of mind. He's not even looking for total peace of mind, total hope. It's just a bit of peace of mind and some hope that he's after. So I'm not entirely sure he thinks there's going to be 4 days on any nice sort of end to this story. More from Mick. He says, and we just thought, if you can respect our privacy as well at home, whatnot, if we've got something, we'll come out and say it and you'll be advised by the police or by us if we need be. Now, it's so much stuttering in this, and stuttering usually indicates stress. Now, I said he was quite nervous when talking anyway, but this is the most stuttery passage of what Mick says. And we just thought, if you can respect our privacy as well at home, whatnot, If we've got something, we'll come out and say it. So I think this was very hard for him to say. I think he felt very stressed about asking for this privacy. Look what he asks for, though. He doesn't ask for total privacy. He doesn't ask for the family to be left alone entirely. He just asks for people to, or I think maybe the press that he's talking to, respect our privacy as well at home. So I think he's really only asking the press to back off from the home at all. It's not this, he's not asking for a total privacy lockout, leave us alone, don't talk to us or anything like that. They're just wanting privacy at home. That's quite interesting. Once more, words from Mick that I don't really think he thinks a good resolution is coming here. He says, if we've got something, we'll come out and say it. Not when we've got something, we'll come out and say it. If we've got something, we'll come out and say it. Mick says, thanks for your time, and I'll say once again, hopefully someone's got something that they can remember or what they've seen, and they can contact the authorities and yeah, put some light on the subject. I think what's happened here is Mick says, thanks for your time, and that's almost like his full stop. You know, it was going to be the end of his speech there. Thanks for your time. And then he says, I'll say once again. And I think that really this is him thinking, have I said enough here? Have I really asked for enough help here? Maybe I'd better say something again. So I'll repeat the concepts that I've said before so that this message really sinks in with someone. Once more, it's really wide what he's asking for. Hopefully someone's got something. So I think that, yeah, he's really open to the fact that information could come from absolutely anywhere, but he's very generic in terms of what it is that he asks. Just someone's got something. And again, another indication in his words that there is nothing, there is no hope, there is no thoughts going on here, because he asks to put some light on the subject, not to get light on the subject or more light on the subject, some light on the subject. But like I said, this is so generic of what he's asking for, to be almost meaningless. Hopefully someone's got something that they can remember or what they've seen. I mean, that is just, information described in general. There's nothing specific there. And put some light on the subject, which is, a very generic way of saying on why Sam has gone missing. No, he just refers to it as the subject. Mick finishes with, and also thanks very much to the people that the generosity throughout the community has been unbelievable. If we went to accept all the food that they wanted to be cooked for us, similar that we wouldn't have to go buy it, go to the supermarket for 12 months, so it's really, really good. So thank you very much, everybody. And we really, really do appreciate everything that everyone's doing. Thank you. Now, this part here, thanking the community, very similar to how he started off talking and thanking the community. Compare that to the stress that was evident when he was asking for privacy. This flows really, really well. I think he finds it much easier to talk and say thank you to the community. And certainly he found to talk about asking for privacy, and potentially as well around what it is that he wants people to do, where he thinks the information goes. Someone in the Never a Truer Word Facebook group looked at this statement of Mick and noticed that at the end here, he talks about two concepts around wealth. He talks about the generosity of the community, and also he does go to say that thanks to all the food there, we wouldn't have to buy it at the supermarket for 12 months, but he changes concept. He says buy it and then swallows and stops, and then says go to the supermarket, almost as if he was embarrassed, saying we wouldn't have to buy it. As maybe he feel like a cheapskate or something. But the wonder there that came from the Facebook group was, is this mention of generosity and but not having to buy food an indication that there were potentially money troubles, or there are money troubles inside the family? I think that's a really good question. Certainly, if I was analysing that statement and advising what questions to ask Mick, I would be saying, are there money troubles? Mick is consistent though. He's still talking about the concept of talking on behalf of the family. If we went to accept all the food that's cooked for us, we wouldn't have to go and buy it. We really, really do appreciate everything that everyone's doing. So he's talking very much around the family there. And then that's what Mick has to say. And if you look at what he has to say in totality, It's quite strange in the makeup of it. He spends as much time thanking the public and the community and talking about what it is they've done for them as appealing for information to help with the search for his wife. He's much happier, he's much easier talking and thanking the community for the help than he was talking about the deciding to do the press conference. Someone's got to know something. And the balance there is 50-50 in terms of what he's talking about. Some of it is thanking the community, some of it is about the search. What really got me interested was that a fifth of the way in, he says, come together as a unit to help us look for Sam and her disappearance. And that is the last time that he mentions his wife, either by name, Sam. He doesn't mention her title or designation, my wife, at all, or just as a generic her. A fifth of the way in, he doesn't mention Sam again. 80%, the last 80% of what it is he has to say does not mention or reference his missing wife at all. Interesting. As well as what he says, is always useful to look at what is missing. And in his speech, in his statement there for Mick, the husband, there is no concern or worry for Samantha at all. None. He doesn't express any concern about where she is, what she's feeling, what she's going through, any worry about her at all. He doesn't talk about that at all. As I said, he doesn't mention anything other than Sam being found, anything other than a search being on. Therefore, there is no direct plea to Samantha to return, or if you're listening to this, please come back, or to a potential abductor who could listen and potentially free her, or be sort of bargained with at all. All those things were missing from what Mick says. Next up at the press conference was Samantha's eldest daughter, Jess.
Hi, I'm Jess. I'm Sam's oldest daughter. Just on behalf of my dad and myself and my siblings, I'd just really like to thank our family and friends for just their continuous love and support. It's really helping us to get through and to keep us strong and to keep us motivated to keep looking and keep moving forward. Mum's a really strong woman, and she's far too determined to give up this fight. I know she's out there somewhere, so if you could please continue to search for her, to give us something to work with, we'd really appreciate it. Mum, we love you so much and we miss you, and we need you at home with us. Please come home soon. I can't wait to see you and to give you the biggest hug when I do, and to tell you off for giving us so much stress. I love you. Thank you all for our time. And please stop taking photos of us and coming to our house. It's really hard. I just want to be able to walk around my house and feel safe. And it's a bit hard at the moment. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So Jess says, hi, I'm Jess. I'm Sam's oldest daughter. Just on behalf of my dad and myself and my siblings, I just really like to thank our family and friends for the continuous love and support. So once more, we have something very similar to Mick. She says, I'm talking on behalf of my dad and myself and my siblings. So again, from Jess, I'm getting the sense of this really supportive and united family that Samantha has left behind. Remember, Mick thanked the community for the help. Well, if you look at who Jess thanks, she thanks our family and friends. So she doesn't thank the community, she thanks our family and friends. And Mick thanked the community for their help. And Jess thanks the family and friends for the continuous love and support. Not the help, but the love and support. And I'm interested in why she added continuous in there. It would have been fine to thank our family and friends for the love and support. But no, it was the continuous love and support. So why continuous? This is 4 days after she's gone missing. So maybe that's the continuous support has just been since Samantha went missing. Or has that continuous support gone on longer? Has something happened before Samantha went missing and the family and friends have given continuous love and support through this time? Why is that word continuous there? Jess continues, it's really helping us to get through and to keep us strong and to keep us motivated, to keep looking and keep moving forward. Mum's a really strong woman and she's as far too determined to give up this fight. Remember I mentioned present tense? Jess talks about Samantha in the present tense here. Mum's a really strong woman and she's far too determined to give up this fight. So Jess is still talking about her mum in the present tense. She's still talking on behalf of the family as well. It's really helping us to get through and keep us strong and keep us motivated. In common with Mick, though, she is motivated to keep looking. Nothing else, not to get mum home or anything like that. Is motivated to keep looking for mum. And then this part really, really got me interested. She's far too determined to give up this fight. That's a very specific mention of a fight, this fight, not any fight, not, she's far too determined to give up. It's this fight. She's talking about something specific there, this fight. As far as we know, there are no clues or ideas as to what happened to Sam. She could have had an accident, maybe. She could have been abducted. She could have decided to go away of her own accord. Someone could have tempted her away. But she talks about this fight, a very specific thing. So I think there's some information in there that Jess has an idea that there was some fight going on inside her mum or around her mum. And that is why she's no longer there. This fight was the most interesting couple of words in the statement. I know she's out there, so if you could please continue the search for her to give us something to work with, we'd really appreciate it, Jess continues to say. Once again, we have this thought that the only way anything is going to come is by continuing the search for her. And again, similar to Mick, she wants to give us something to work with. She thinks there is nothing at all to work with there. So yeah, again, just a sense that although we have this fight, that maybe they know the reason that Samantha has gone, they don't really know where to find her. They have no idea about how they will go getting Samantha back. Jess continues to say, Mum, we love you so much and we miss you and we need you at home with us. Please come home soon. I can't wait to see you and give you the biggest hug when I do, and to tell you off for giving us so much stress. So unlike Mick, Jess does address Samantha, Mum, directly. Mum, we love you so much and we miss you and we need you at home with us. I will say there that, again, there's no concern here for Sam. This is just, Mum, we love you so much and we need you home with us. So what they are wanting is Sam back with the family, not Sam removed from any danger or out of peril or anything like that. What they want is Mum back home with the family. And then Jess says something really strange, which is that I want to tell you off for giving us so much stress. Now, if Sam has been abducted, if something bad has happened to her, then this is victim blaming, frankly. But is it? Or does she know that Sam has gone away? It's Sam's own decision to go away, to go missing, to go to disappear, and that she is going to tell her off for giving us so much stress. I think Jessie's words here, it seems to be that she thinks that Sam is responsible for her own disappearance. We do have an interesting change here where Jess is talking on behalf of the family. Mum, we love you so much. We miss you. We need you at home with us. So all that jointness. But then she talks for herself. I can't wait to see you and give you the biggest hug when I do. Jess then says, love you. Thank you all for our time. And please stop taking photos of us and coming to our house. It's really hard. I just want to be able to walk out my house and feel safe. And that's a bit hard at the moment. Okay, thank you. And the bit that stuck out for me there in that request for privacy, again, it's a request for privacy around the house, the very same as Mick did. But I just want to be able to walk out of my house and feel safe. And what happened to Sam was she walked out the house and she disappeared. So there's a bit of a parallel in the words there, that Jess wants to walk out of the house and feel safe. And those are the two statements from Mick and from Jess at the press conference. I've got a lot of observations to come in my conclusion. There's a lot of similarities between the words that Mick and Jess use. Both talk for the family, lots of we and us, which indicates a really united family there that they feel they can talk for. Both indicate they have no knowledge, they're looking for some light or something to work with at all. But both, they really only focus on the search and looking for Sam. We do have some differences between what they say. Jess talks directly to Mum, to Sam. Jess thanks the family and friends. Mick thanks the community. And Jess talks about Samantha throughout her statement, almost right until the end, whereas Mick didn't. 80%, the last 80% of what he spoke about did not reference his missing wife by name or concept at all. Neither of them do any alibi building or resume statements to say what they were doing or what was going on or what nice people they are. Neither of them do that at all. I did notice a common theme in both speeches: mothering. Mick is being mothered by the community. They're making him food and helping him, and he was really, really appreciative of being mothered. Is this an unusual thing for him to be looked after so well? And you can see Jess taking a matriarchal role in the family. She's speaking on behalf of her dad and her siblings and herself, and also she will do the scolding of Sam if she comes back. The theme of mothering quite strong in both statements. Look, I think they know nothing about where Samantha is. I think they believe Samantha is responsible for the disappearance herself, that it was Sam's choice to go missing. That seems to be what is there in the words that they say. There's some indications there that there were pressures in family life before the disappearance, and I think that's what's been going on, and I think that is why Samantha has gone missing, whether it's been her mental health state or whether it's been disagreements or something like that. But I think there's potentially pressures in the family and family life before the disappearance. But I do have a huge red flag, which is neither Jess nor Mick showed any concern at all for Samantha or worry about her well-being or anything at all. Their worry was for the family, the we, the us. That's where their concern was. That's where their focus was. So remember, tenses. You saw Jess talking present tense about the mum there. Very important when someone's talking about a missing person or wanting someone to return. Look at the focus of attention, and you saw with Mick and Jess, the focus was on the family and on searching, looking for Samantha. And resumes and storytelling, we didn't see any of that there whatsoever. Neither Mick nor Jess were trying to make out what great people they were or anything like that. They were just telling a story or telling how they felt at the time. They weren't telling any stories about what happened or any unbelievable bits of information as well. What do you think? Let me know in the comments or get in touch on social media if you've got any questions, comments or observations on Samantha Murphy's disappearance. As I said before, that like button just makes this go around to more people and gets this content out to more, as does sharing it with people who you think are interested in missing people or people who would be interested in Samantha Murphy's story. And the subscribe or follow button means you get more like this as it's released. NeverAtruerWord.com is the place to go to find more podcasts, more videos. You can sign up for the newsletter there as well, and you can find out how to interact and chat on the socials. And we'll see you for something new soon from Never a Truer Word.